Dr. Jaffe, AFib or atrial fibrillation sounds scary. Are there any natural modalities, though, or lifestyle strategies that can help someone who has this condition?
Well, let's start with how many people have been diagnosed and how many people actually have atrial fibrillation. I have in front of me a rather elegant review article from a recent JAMA publication that points out that 3 million people have been diagnosed, but 10 plus million people, especially younger people, actually have atrial fibrillation that has not been diagnosed. So AFib can often be reduced or even stopped by a synergistic combination of natural supplements that are more bioavailable, more bioactive. For example, nature's ascorbate sets the cell oxidation reduction potential. And when you combine it with bioavailable polyphenolics, there is much benefit at the molecular level for every cell in the body, especially heart and blood vessel cells, to tighten up, to strengthen their vitality, to improve their electron flow. And this is all accomplished by nature's ascorbate and bioavailable polyphenolics as we have them available from PERC. Now then, CoQ10. But CoQ10 is notoriously hard to get in the body, and the bioavailability of CoQ10 is dramatically improved if you use 100% rice bran oil. We do use 100% rice bran oil, as we were taught by the founder who identified CoQ10, but most products with CoQ10 are either dried and powdered, which means very poor bioavailability, or they're in a soft gel with maybe some essence of rice bran oil, but it's mostly soy and other oils that are cheaper, but are inhibiting, reducing the bioavailability of the CoQ10. Magnesium is a remarkable mineral that most of us need more of. And if you want your heart to beat smoothly and regularly without atrial fibrillation, you must have enough magnesium. And we triple the uptake of that magnesium by using choline citrate. And you know how much magnesium you want to take for that day based on your urine pH after rest. Another key nutrient that is often deficient today is vitamin D in the vitamin D3 form, but drops under the tongue get into the body easily, whereas many, many millions of people have enough digestive disorder, enough enteropathy, enough atrophy of their digestive tract, that certain molecules like vitamin D, which is really a neurotransmitter, even though we call it a vitamin, have impaired uptake, if much of any. So the average American has between 10 and 20 milligrams per deciliter of vitamin D, and we need 50 to 80, maybe a little bit more. We always give best outcome goal values based on evidence and caution. So if you're a little bit below than 50, that's okay, but take a few drops more. If you're above 80, that's okay, take a few drops less. And you can recheck your vitamin D level in just 1 month. So gut dysbiosis is an important predisposing comorbidity. That means it goes along with atrial fibrillation. In order to optimize repair and function, you want to eat 80% alkaline-forming foods, as described in our food effects on body chemistry table and chart, to guide your consumption. Now, there are interventions that may be helpful in atrial fibrillation, but before any of those interventions, start with nature, nurture, and wholeness. Start with our recommendations of a natural approach, and then, if possible, Wear a bionic device or a smartwatch that actually today can measure atrial fibrillation, how often you have it, how much of it you have, and you should be monitoring your health through some device that can tell you if you have atrial fibrillation. And if you do, please take action in the natural way we have recommended before any other interventions. So AFib, atrial fibrillation, is increasingly common, especially in younger people. It should be detected by a device of some kind, and use this recommendation of just a few natural supplements to tame atrial fibrillation.